All right, you guys. Town business in effect. Hey, while some of y'all, what I'm saying, have to do, interviews from, spots, I'm actually here. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually at the crib. I'm actually in the lab where it all goes down, like they used to say on MTV Cribs where the magic happened. But y'all know who this man is. Bill Haney in the building. What's going on, Bill?
Oh no, thank you, brother, for coming out and having some dinner with us. We appreciate you. I'm a big fan of what you're doing because you're from my town, and your name is Town Business.
Oh
So you
yeah.
got to represent. So it's only right that I invite you out here to the house with the family and have some meat. How was the food?
Oh yeah, man. Hey, on some real shit, y'all. Said I ate lobster tacos, big boy shit. So what I'm saying? Big boy shit. So yeah, it was banging, man.
That's
It
right.
was
That's
banging,
right. As
man.
long as you enjoyed it, brother.
Nah, I appreciate you having me here, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, so since I got the great Bill Haney in the house, yeah, I see. Yeah, what up, Taco K? Yeah, hey, he from Oakland too. Yeah, my boy Taco K from the town. Yeah,
Taco, what's happening, man? What's
yeah, this
happening,
this this
man?
real town shit right here, man. East Oakley, man. So Bill, hey, now since I got Bill here, I don't usually ask for what I'm saying, no donation, but y'all put something in that super chat, man, for real, man. Put something in that super chat. So Bill, man, I just wanted to get your take on what's going on. Is the Gary Russell Jr. thing out of reach? Is it a wrap?
I mean, like I said, I've said numerous times that nothing is impossible, especially when Devin Haney gives me a task. My son, when he gets determined, he's determined to make this Gary Russell fight. And so I'm determined to deliver it to him. Nothing is impossible, but I have yet to receive anything from him. And, that's it. We sent over a term sheet to him. I'm sure, like everyone has heard numerous times, him saying, he sent it back or he was going to send it back. We have yet to receive anything from Mr. Russell, and then when we do, we'll know more then.
Is there a time frame that he got to like get back to you guys, or you just gonna go ahead with the Gamboa fight?
I mean, obviously, my son, he fights, he does the shit in the ring, and then I take care of the business. So when I was given the task of getting Gary in the ring, I won't stop. I won't stop until he says that he doesn't want to make it happen, or we don't have no money on the table. And as of now, we have the zone that's interested in paying for the fight. They're big on the fight, so maybe we can do it in the first part of 2021. I heard that he talked about. I mean, I don't know if you heard him say something about a January 30th date or something like that. So that's something that we would be interested in entertaining. We're just waiting to hear something back from him.
Okay, well, Bill, do you have a fight date in store? Like, just like I know they wanted December, and there
Well,
was
I don't know
November.
what they want because I haven't received anything, you know. So I can't assume that what he's saying, or I can't assume anything. I, I I received his email. I sent it to him. I sent it to his representatives, and as of yet, I don't know. I don't know what date he might want. I know Devin has a November the 7th date, and the opponents that we're considering, or the opponent that's probably gonna be Gamboa if it's not Gary Russell Jr.
Okay, Bill. So you just said you have November plans. So just in case you go through with the plan in November, is January enough time for you guys to go right back into another fight? Would you like to like at least like wait it out another month, maybe February? Give Devin Haney some healing and rest.
I mean, he said the latest. He gave a deadline of January 30th.
Okay.
So with that saying though, we like to meet our deadlines.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I get
Yeah,
it.
you know
So
what I mean. So like I say, he just needs to respond, and then we'll go from there.
well, that's hey. Well, let me ask you this because I'm not afraid to ask the tough question because, I did reach out. I reached out to Batman. I offered to give them the floor. I offered to give them my show completely to hear their side of the story. So I just want to ask you this. my own personal opinion, it almost come across to me like this was what you would call clout chasing, because at the end of the day, people wasn't really talking about Gary Russell Jr. because his name wasn't really out there because he doesn't fight a lot. And then if you look at, some of the people he's fought, he's not what you would call a popular fighter. And then when this whole thing with Devin jumped off, because we already know Devin's name was like buzzing, in the internet streets and in the streets, period. So it's kind of like, okay, well, I'll see, can I get something started, with Devin to see, can I get my name out there? And since this thing happened the past 3 weeks, everybody been talking about Devin Haney and Gary Russell Jr. So I'm asking you, do you think he had any intentions on making this fight, or it was just, sort of like a publicity stunt on their part? Because I listened to Batman talk, and it almost came across like, okay, you gave them everything they asked for, and then for some reason, a contract didn't get signed and a fight hasn't been announced. So I'm just asking you, because that appears to be the case with me and quite a few other people.
Well, it's kind of hard to say. I don't want to say that the Russells and all that they did in the sport, that they would compromise their integrity by, fake promoting a fight that they don't intend on making happen, And just because they've spoken things that I didn't necessarily like, they've said things about me that I didn't necessarily like, that's just not my character to slander them, in that kind of way. I think that, so to say that it was a publicity stunt, I won't say that, but I will say that I think after watching Devin, maybe taking a closer look into him and checking out his energy, and Gino, ain't nothing about us scary over here. And him being 21, initially when you hear about a 21-year-old, and then you start, playing back the tapes and watching them, and then seeing what the team is about and seeing what the guy is, and you start diving into the fight. Then he said, "No, I don't think so," and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to force him in the ring, but we would have liked for him to tell us from one family to another, one business to another, that this is something that he doesn't want to do right now, and we reserve the right to do it at a later date, and then we would have been cool with that. But to string us along and to say that something was wrong with the paperwork that was sent over when you didn't respond back to the paperwork, is malice at the very least, and highly disrespectful, because when a term sheet is sent, it's sent with the idea that you're going to look at it and you're going to send something back in response to the terms that we offer. And for him to be in the business for as long as he has and be the longest reigning champion in the WBC, I would think that the position that he would want to be in terms of being in control of his career, is where Devin is at. Devin is in control of his career.
Bill, one of the things, like I said, why I was a little disappointed in hearing that this fight may not come to fruition, because what this kind of reminded me of, and it's not a stretch neither. It kind of reminded me of sort of like what happened. Some people, me and Bill, we from a different era in boxing, but some of y'all may not know. There was always talk of a Sugar Ray Leonard versus Aaron Pryor fight. And this is kind of what it reminded me of. And for some reason, Sugar Ray Leonard and Aaron Pryor, they couldn't get the paperwork together. The money situation couldn't get right. And it's a fight that people was clamoring for. You had a smaller dude that was willing to go up and fight a bigger dude. And some reason it just didn't happen. And I was like looking forward to this fight, because I say, dang, this kind of remind me of Sugar Ray Leonard versus Aaron Pryor. I say, man, the fans is clamoring for this. And man, and I gotta say this, Bill, I gotta keep it 100, man. And it was two brothers too, man. I don't have no problem with the black versus brown stuff, but at the end of the day, sometimes, man, I want to see something that's done between us. I want to see us getting that money too.
Right. Well, that was one thing that Mike had said over the weekend, which was very profound, was that guys should put aside their differences, and in the sport and for the sport of boxing, get together and make the big events happen. And of course, when you make big events, you make big money. So I always think of it like a big event. If it's a big enough event that everybody wants to come out and everybody is supporting it, then of course the fighters are going to get paid. But traditionally it happens with black and brown. But to answer to yourself, to happen with two guys from the same kind of backgrounds and same in the same era, meaning Tank and Devin, or Gary Russell and Devin. Yeah, I mean, of course, as just a fan of boxing, I want to see it as well with my son. So a lot of times with the business side of boxing, and me being a fan of it, and Devin being concerned about his legacy, we jumped out there to make the big fights. A combination of me trying to make a big event happen for him and him with his legacy, we've attempted against you name it. You name the person. If the people think something of the fighter, Devin done tried to fight him.
I mean, that's what it appears to be. I mean, I didn't heard Devin calling all these people's names, and it appears Devin Haney is looking for greatness. He's seeking greatness. He wants to have greatness because he's calling out all of them. He wants the Lomachenko. He wants Tank. He wants Teofimo Lopez. But the problem is, Bill, how do we make those fights happen? Because now, like I said, I'm spoiled, Bill. I saw a lot of good fights get made in the 90s and in the 80s. But now you hear this stuff about, oh, well, this network is messing it up. This promoter is messing it up, or this fighter. I mean, like,
it's not that.
Who do we blame?
No, you got to blame the fighters, because with today's day and time with the social media, fighters, the quiet fighters probably just don't want to fight. You know what I'm saying? And the fighters that are vocal, they want to fight, but the money got to be right. You know what I'm saying? So the day of where it was traditionally, you had to be in the big print magazines, and you had to be on a network that was partnering with your company and efforts to market and promote all the fighters, not just the one, where a company has just one fighter and the network is only promoting that, and then the promoter has to then promote all the other fighters on dark shows, meaning non-televised shows. So now with social media, the promoter that didn't have access to his fans around the world now has access. And you probably attest to that, is when Devin was in Mexico. We were filming his fights in Mexico, but we put them up on YouTube, and we come back here and we talk about them. We go to other gyms and shit, and we got more known for going around the country. So the days of just saying that it's the promoter and this network fight fault, that shit is over with. And when you talk about Devin, the best fighter in the world, you're talking about Devin, the best fighter in the world.
Do you think Devin right now? I mean, Bill, this, it's really subjective. It's really based off who, your own personal opinion. Do you think Devin right now is what you would call a top 10 pound per pound, or he's close to it, or, he's in the neighborhood?
I judge it by this. This is what I judge it by this. Because it's pound for pound, meaning how dominant are you in your respective weight class. It's not the best heavyweight. It's not the best lightweight. It's the best fighter, pound for pound. And dominant as Dev is in the lightweight division, he should be definitely on there. He should be definitely on there. If you're going to put the Lomachenkos of the world on there, then you got to put him on there. And we say, a part of it is the eye test, because people know what you're looking at, and you know why the people aren't fighting, because they know what they're looking at. But this kind of fighter only comes around every 20, 25 years, every century. You have a fighter that comes in that's dominant even young, like an Irvin Magic Johnson, or that just come in the game dominant. and I think that's a testament to all the professors that I put him with coming up in the game, from the Roger Mayweathers and Floyd Seniors and Eddie Mustafas and Virgil Hunters, and you know what I mean. It's a long list of professors that had a hand in the whole Devin Haney thing.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing for Devin, because one thing I do see in Devin that I like, he is a student of the game. He's focused. When you see him, he's always ready to go. He's always in the gym. He don't have any outside distractions like a lot of fighters, and I contribute that to you, you know, because you got him on the right track. Is that another problem that's going on in boxing, where a lot of these dudes, they not really focus on boxing? They just think of boxing as something as a hobby, where Devin considers this his career. He considers this his life, his livelihood.
Well, I think Dev was fortunate enough to grow up in Las Vegas and get a chance to see, arguably the best boxer of all time in Floyd Mayweather. Inside and outside the ring, the things that he did inside the ring in terms of 27 world title defenses is amazing. The things that Floyd also has done outside the ring with controlling his career and having record paydays has been also amazing. So it's kind of like you grow up with Michael Jordan. Everybody is watching Mike, and then Mike has a special relationship with this kid. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what they have. And I think that Jordan and Kobe had a kind of a special relationship, and then Kobe and LeBron had a special relationship. So yeah, I can attribute a lot of Devin's, his mental fortitude to not just having me as a dad, but also having a guy like Floyd being in the same town as a professional, driving around in all the Rolls Royces and doing all the shit, and Devin having access to seeing him, talking to him, and then it's like you see the guy, you see yourself, and you can actually see him. To whereas I think other kids in other cities that are boxing lose focus because not just that they have a dad, but they don't have their respected, their idol have access to him. You don't get a chance to see Jordan practice. You know what I mean? So everybody else seen Floyd fight, but then Devin saw Floyd practice. So it was just a little bit of difference to me in that upbringing.
Yeah, you mentioned, Bill, that you had a lot of people helping Devin out, like all these world-renowned boxers, some future Hall of Famers, current Hall of Famers. Do you think that contribute to where Devin is now, while he's ahead of the curve?
Absolutely. When we talk about matching Devin up against anybody, an old guy told me one time, he said, "Who's the lame that taught him the game, and where did he learn to play?" So when I say that, I say, when you have a fighter, no matter what they say out their mouth, no matter who they beat, because it comes down to who you beat. Well, who did they beat? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we really are confident in what this package that we can put together with Devin, this whole style, the Devin Haney style. We are confident in putting that against the Russells, the Davises, the Lomachenkos of the world. When you talk about Loma and his dad, they did a wonderful job. Shout out to them, salute to them and their whole team. But when we talk about putting the Haney team against the Lomachenko team, well, this fight didn't just get started built a month ago. It didn't start getting built a year ago. We've been on this path for going on 14 years. For one day, for one fight against a super bad motherfucker like Lomachenko, So whether it's him or whether it's Mikey Garcia, we know there's some big fights on the horizon for Dev, for sure.
Well, let me ask you this, Bill. Now, we didn't got the Russell thing out the way. let's just say you go into the fight with Gamboa. Give us your take on Gamboa and what type of opponent he is for you guys. How do how do you see Gamboa as a a threat to Devin? How do you prepare to beat a guy like Gamboa and what threat he poses to Devin?
Well, I mean, actually, we never really go into it preparing for the fighter and what his style is. Obviously, because an experienced fighter like Gamboa, you spend a whole camp preparing for this one style. He comes in with something else on fight night and it totally surprises you. So what we look to do is have a better Devin Haney than the Alfred Santiago fight, than the Antonio Moran fight, and so on and so forth. And I really believe that that's what you guys are going to see. If you thought Devin was a bad motherfucker then, what you're going to see on November 7th is a person that's continuing to grow, continuing to get better, and that's all you can ask for, a young champion, out of a young champion for sure.
Bill, do you have has anything do you guys have a ideal location where you guys are gonna have this fight at?
I'm just hearing this in a bubble. That's all I'm hearing, so I don't know where. And it's not like, you know, it's not like our families can go. It's not like some fans or nothing. So we just waiting. I think it says like 5 people going to be able to go. It's 5 people or 4 people. So we're just gonna take we're gonna take the 5 that we can take, and or the 4, and then go to the bubble wherever it's at.
Well, Bill, if it's here, if they put it here, I'll be in the proximity. I'll catch y'all after the fight. So yeah, y'all got my support. So Bill, let me ask you something. Do you got a hit list? Let's just say you're successful against. I'm gonna assume that you're gonna be successful against Gamboa. Do you have a hit list? Because some fighters have a hit list. Do you have any particular guys you have in mind? Would you further try to revisit the Gary Russell Jr. situation, or it's whatever, or you're gonna be looking towards Lomachenko and Tiafimo and guys like that?
Well, a lot of it, it's a lot of moving parts that's happening in this thing, because you got Campbell and Garcia fighting. You got Lomachenko and Tio fighting. So it's like we gotta get past Gamboa, which we do not take Gamboa lightly, because Tank got dynamite in both fists, and Gamboa was around till 12. He was around the whole fight on a torn Achilles, and we know that Gamboa is the toughest guy on Tank's resume. Tank being a 26-year-old two-division world champion. 25?
Yeah, he's 25.
25?
And I think he's a 2-division champion.
Yeah, 2-division champion, 25, 2-division champion. I think he turned 26 in November.
Okay.
Birthdays in November. But yeah, so being 2-division world champion, 25, and to have Tank, to have Gamboa, he didn't just wash him. And Tank washes everybody out. So for him not to, we know that this is a good stepping stone for Dev. It would be definitely the best fighter on Devin's resume. So yeah, that's what we think.
Okay, Bill. I know a lot of people like to do the comparison thing, which really doesn't mean shit. When people say, "Oh, well, this dude knocked this dude out, he went the distance," because that's been proven not to mean anything. How do you plan on fighting Gamboa? Are you guys gonna try to go for a knockout, or you're just gonna take what he gives you and just box the dude and try to just get the W?
We're gonna whip his ass just like the other 24 other people. And if he decide, or the corner decide to stop it, then so be it. If he decide to fall out from some shit, then so be it. But we're gonna whip his ass. That's what I can promise you. And at the end of the night, Devin's hand will be raised victorious.
Okay, well, Bill. Now you mentioned Tank. We all know you have a relationship with Floyd. Y'all are cool. Politics. Let's just say Devin really wants that fight. The fans call for that fight. Will there be any politics that could prevent a fight between
zero,
Tank?
Zero.
We would like that fight down the line.
Tank, no, but you gotta want for Tank what Tank should want for himself. and that's to his legacy. And a Devin Haney fight will definitely propel him into, that fighter that I hope that he wants to be. And I know Devin beating Tank will propel Devin to the legacy that he wants to be. But it takes two to make this thing happen. And if Tank doesn't want to make it happen, there's nothing that we can do, But we cannot blame it on the promoters, and we cannot blame it on the networks, because every time that Devin's name is mentioned, what does he say? Town business.
Hey, he want everybody.
Yeah, but what does Tank say when people ask him about Devin?
Well, he kind of he doesn't say that's a fight he's looking forward to.
So he says everything, like Devin said, he says everything, but let's fight. He'll say clout baby, he'll say this, he'll say he's too young, he'll say everything, but let's fight next, Devin.
That's correct. I know Devin wants that fight. There's just certain fighters that Tank has not, been, quick to say he, wants to get in the ring with or tangle with. But I see with Devin, like I say, he wants everybody. And that's what I like. And Tank has not officially said that he wants Devin Haney. And he's had the opportunity
numerous times
to ask for that fight.
Numerous times.
So you saying you saying it can happen?
Absolutely. Now, one of our coaches though is Mike McCallum,
the body snatcher.
Body snatcher. I brought Mike in because I wanted him to throw body shots with both hands. And who else to bring in other than Mike, the body snatcher McCallum? Now, growing up, the name just body snatcher just sound. He was young when it just sounded.
Man, I saw the Julian Jackson fight.
And he had that aura when he coming up in that aura, And when you talk about Sugar Ray Leonard, they say Sugar Ray Leonard avoided Mike McCallum. Let Mike tell me, he said that none of them want to fight.
Yeah, I talked to him like a couple of years ago. As Deontay Wilder would say, to this day, Mike McCallum says that Sugar Ray Leonard, Thomas Hearns, Hagler, he said he asked to fight all of them. He said they refused to fight. And what's so funny about the body snatcher, he is still pissed.
Yeah.
And this is 30-something. He is still mad that he didn't get those fights.
Absolutely. But see now, because, Unc, he be telling me, you know what I'm saying? He's like, don't let him, whatever you do, don't let him do that like that. Don't let him. Let the people know. See, he was at a different time where people knew, but they didn't know, because the machine that Sugar Ray Leonard had, the marketing machine, was way bigger than the marketing machine that Mike McCallum had. Because Sugar Ray Leonard had the gold medal. So what people don't understand, when you got traditional, what they call old media, they were able to draw the narrative of whatever it was that they decided to pick, and there was no way to refute it. But now with social media, it allows fighters to get on there and say, all cap. Like that, all cap.
Exactly. So Bill, I know it's getting late, so we're gonna wrap this up, but I want to ask you like a couple of more questions, then we go. So Bill, how much time you plan on spending at this?
But you gotta ask a tough question though.
Well,
no, because see, they're gonna think that you came over here, got lobster tacos, and you didn't ask no. So give me the question that the haters want.
Okay, hold on. Since we live, anybody got a tough question for Bill? I'll ask him right now. And I want to tell y'all I am not on the payroll. So
no, he just had some good ass lobster tacos, but that's it.
So I'm not on the payroll. Yeah. Y'all got some questions y'all want to ask Bill, let it rip. Because one of my problems is, like I told you, Bill, I'm getting frustrated. Like I say, I'm just tired of this politicking shit. I'm tired of the other side of the street shit.
That's not true.
Okay, Bill, is there any truth to you guys ducking for tuna?
Never. Fortuna, the WBC, he's in the WBC tournament. Fortuna ducked out. Fortuna, Teofimo Lopez, and Devin and Zara Robinlab. Dev ended up fracturing Obolev's orbital, and they stopped the fight. Then Fortuna came around, and Fortuna was the mandatory. Now, Devin is the world champion. Javier Fortuna is the mandatory, and he don't make the fight. He don't want to make the fight. He ain't doing nothing to make the fight. Devin goes out and gets his surgery, shoulder surgery. Javier Fortuna petitions to fight Luke Cameron. Devin comes back from shoulder surgery because the pandemic had set in and their fight got canceled. So Devin comes in and says, Javier Fortuna or Luke Cameron, I petition the WBC to reinstate me as world champion and fight whoever they are to defend the belt. Javier Fortuna said, promoter, which you can look it up right now, Javier Fortuna's promoter, petitioned to fight Luke Cameron instead. But fuck all that. Ain't he the mandatory right now?
Yeah, I mean,
Where's he at? He can come on November the 7th. Fuck, we've been looking for him. Listen, the mandatory, so then guess what? He was the mandatory, hold up. Because how do you go from the mandatory to fighting Jorge Linares? If you're the mandatory, then we fight November the 7th, and you still the mandatory. You the mandatory. That means we gotta fight you or give up the belt. You know how the shit go, like with Lomachenko. Fight you or give up the belt. So wouldn't you rather be a mandatory and wait and fight Devin Haney? You don't need to win nothing else. You need to win the world title. So why are you fighting Jorge Linares? Why would you be talking about you about to fight Gary Russell? Why would you be fighting anybody else other than Devin Haney?
makes sense. Okay, Bill. This is from Taco K. He out of the town. He says, Bill. Hey, I didn't ask this question too. Bill, the boys back home, they want to know eventually when are you coming back home? They want to fight. They say, hey, the town say they demand to fight.
Oh, absolutely.
They say they demand to fight.
Please. And that's what we need to do with the networks and everybody. Is just that we demand it. We need to let them know because we hope, because we just hope that our town love and respect us, that we had to get on this road and whoop these niggas' ass, man. Because we don't, from Oakland, we don't have boxing shows every other
It's rare.
It's rare. And like from being in the business, if you go to Philadelphia, they got boxing shows every month. If you go to where else? Okay, Philly. You go to where else is they doing the shows at, brother? Help me out around the country.
Well,
DC,
DMV.
Yep, DMV.
Texas.
Yep, Florida even got shows. Then even Southern California, they have shows. Our amateur program, which that's what we need to work on in the Bay, is our amateur program because we don't have no good amateurs coming out our soil, from our soil. But I know it's in the water. You know what I'm saying? It just needs to have a program, a good gym around there. You know what I mean? A solid gym, and start raising some of them prospects up out of the town. But we got Amari Jones though, to come right there from Oakland.
Yeah, I need to talk to him too. Send him my way too.
Yeah, Amari, man, good dude, man, nice dude, future world champion, man, 147. Yeah.
Okay, Bill. Another question is from Kobe 2K. He said, "Any truth to you guys ducking Linares?"
Absolutely not. Linares has never been. Okay, all you have to do is go look at Linares. Who Linares say he want to fight right now? Linares says he wants to fight Ryan Garcia. Then he wants to fight Devin Haney. He wants to fight Ryan Garcia first. Look it up. Tell him to look it up. Tell somebody to look it up in there.
Oh, 7-8 in the building. What's up, 7-8? 7-8.
7-8.
And we got another one from the town, Real Cash. He said salute from the Oakland Hills. So he might be he might be where Skyline is. So
that's it. No, because that might be over there with Richie Rich. They're from up the Oakland Hills. That's up right back there by Nolan Park and shit. Be some good niggas.
Yeah, not.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason Kidd, he lived over there. Yeah. All right, so we got any more questions for Bill? Cause Bill got to get his rest though.
No, man, you might need to get some rest. I'm working.
Man, I'm a late nighter.
Shit. Nah, but I want some hard questions. No, cause you said, man, matter of fact, is that hard as it get?
I mean, I'm just here chilling, man. I mean, for real.
I'm talking about in the chat.
Oh, hey, Bill say Bill want that smoke, man. He want that Oakland smoke. He say he want that Oakland smoke. So, you know what I'm saying? Bill a bank boy. So, y'all got some tough questions for Bill? So, okay, Marcus Monroe said, so Bill, do you think Devin can, God damn, you want him to go that high? Marcus Monroe said, do you think Devin can retire as high as 154?
Yep. Maybe even 160.
160?
Yeah, but the reason why I say that is because when you get to a certain level with the skills that you got, that Devin, see, he ain't even really, he's 21. So his maturity is going to be different at 25, at 26, at 28. It'd be a different frame, a different mindset, different everything. And when you get, because that's what they trying to do with him is use that man strength, use all that shit, use that to say, but they don't got the skills. I know what they're talking about, but they don't got the skills. Devin will be a different fighter. He's gonna be a fighter with the whole thing and the skills. But yes, you can only a 21-year-old can only have so much. Man strength. He's still gonna get stronger. You know what I'm saying? Town business. He gonna get stronger. He's going up. He's not on he's not on the decline. He's still going up. So we have big expectations for him.
Yeah, I look at Devin's frame. I think he can go up a few more weight classes. 160, my own personal opinion, that might be kind of stretching it. I think he can handle.
Because Sugar Ray Leonard went up to 160.
Yeah, but Bill, Sugar Ray Leonard. Yeah, but Sugar Ray Leonard didn't take all the smoke at 160. He kind of maneuvered around. He kind of maneuvered around.
But that was when he was on his way out. You know what I'm saying? It was a more farewell. It's just like when Floyd went up and got that title at what was that one? With him, he went as high as what?
He went as far as one. He fought Canelo at a catch weight of 152, and it was for a belt. But that was as high as Floyd could go. But I stood next to Floyd. Floyd is a little nigga though. So I mean, but Devin is a little bit bigger than Floyd, and he got that type of frame. He can go up more weight classes, but I wouldn't.
You think so? It's funny because they seem like they both the same identical size.
Nah, I think Devin a tad bit bigger, and his body frame is
bigger than Floyd.
His body frame is a little bit wider than Floyd's, and he lengthier than Floyd. I think Devin could go up to like, I know he could do 47 down. 54. Huh?
You say 40? You think he'll top out at 54?
I think he'll top out at 54, and that depends on like what's up there by the time you get to 54. Because like right now,
I agree. But when you talk about maneuvering and the tail end of your career and catch weights, and if it's a champion up at 160, and you go after that champion to become whatever it is, I don't know how many weight classes that would be, the world champion, but I understand what you say, a real campaigning and really kicking ass and taking names. I think, 50, 54, definitely 47, but as high as 54.
Yeah. Okay, Bill, 7-8 got a question. He said, when is Devin, he said in his hater voice, he said, when is Devin going to fight AJ?
I don't know. You know what? I guess I don't know if the money is right. We'll go out to the UK and go at AJ. What you think? Joshua.
Hey, I'll do it. Hey, Bill, I'll do it if the money get put in the bank first.
Hey, 7-8. Look, my uncle over here said he can do it. Listen, my family over here believe in Devin so much. 7-8, man. I mean, You know, that's why we call him Superman, you know?
Wow. So, any more questions for Trio Bill? Okay, my boy Taco K said pretty much. He said that the town ride with you. He said that if you can get something set up in Oakland, like we'll help you run it.
Oh, that's
Me
what
and
we,
Harbor help you run it.
hey, that's what we want to hear because that is so important, man. It takes a community, man, and to bring out one of them champions around there, man. I appreciate you putting it on my back because that's what I really want to do. I want to bring a gym to the town. You know what I'm saying? Bring some coaching and bring that Devin Haney style of fighting and explain to the youngins, you know, why he's doing this, why he's doing that, who he learned it from, what you know what I mean. You know how it's instrumental in us in the beginning of the fight versus the end of the fight. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what my dream is to come back to the town and get this game to some youngsters. They'll just keep me out here in Las Vegas because it's a lot of pros and it's a lot of sparring. It's a lot of it's just the fight capital.
Bill, I didn't get a chance to ask you this. I just got to ask you my own personal, I just wanted to get my own clarity, the comments that Devin Haney made about Lomachenko, which I thought was bullshit because Devin didn't say anything wrong. And I know people like went after him and stuff, but then, the comments about he'd never lose to White Boy, but then Paulie Malignaggi then made every disparaging comment you could think of about black people and black fighters. And then you had Larry Merchant, who I've never liked, who I told that I thought was a racist to his face. He made the comment when Deontay Wilder lost to Tyson Fury. He said, "Oh, Deontay Wilder was the last great black hope," and he didn't catch nearly the hell Devin caught, which Devin didn't say anything wrong to me because I've heard worse. So I just wanted to get your take on that. Do you regret like Devin like issuing an apology? I'm just keeping it real, Bill. I don't think Devin owed anybody a fucking apology because he didn't say nothing that was wrong.
Right, right, right. Well, I agree with you that like I didn't think that he said anything wrong. You know what I'm saying? But I do believe that it was taken out of context. You know what I'm saying? And for those that the people, it's like when you say something to somebody and somebody said, "Did you?" Okay, let me give you an example. It was a guy down by the lake, right? And so I came back home and I'm like, oh man, this shit is a nice ass day. You know, right there right on Grand, right? Grand Avenue, right? And it was a kid and I was talking to my man and this young guy, he about 20 something, he gets out the car with his girl and the kids. And for me traveling and shit, I see him walking past and shit and I'm like, what's up, King? You know what I'm saying? Nice family. He said, all right, thank you, right. He go around the corner, he come back, and he goes to the car and he said to us, he said, man, if y'all looking for the girls, they over here. I said, no, my man, I ain't looking for no girl. I said, I got a girl in the car with me, brother. And then he said, oh, cause I seen you looking at my girl. Seen y'all looking at my girl. I said, I ain't looking at your girl. He was talking about my man, right? And my man said, nigga, ain't nobody looking at your motherfucker. And then dude immediately started going off. I said, hold up, youngster. I said, no, it ain't like that. He said, man, I'm telling you, man, because I said, well, you probably would do that. And you probably should feel that way. But it ain't like that. You know what I mean? And that's weird. And then he looked at me again and I said, dude, you probably could feel that. You probably could do so air this motherfucker, you do holes. But when a motherfucker tell you it ain't like that, then what you gonna say?
Facts.
He said, yeah, you're right. Now, my dude, he was looking at me, he said, well, what's up with your man? And then my man said, I said, he from Oakland just like you. And dude said, man, don't nobody care about no Oakland. I said, hold it, y'all, hold it, man. So I separated them again, right? And I told dude, he looked at me, and then I said, brother, you can't get into it with me. And he looked back and I said, you heard what I said. I said, you can't get into it with me because I'm not about to let you get into it with me, brother. When I leave out my house and shit like this, man, my thing ain't to go get into it with nobody. So to keep I know where my son was at with it. He was saying if it was one person that was offended, not the 1,000 people. He know you're not offended. He wasn't talking to you. He was talking to he said, if you're offended, because when he was talking about Lomachenko, and he made a reference to Lomachenko when it was at Lomachenko. It wasn't that 1,000 or whoever the other white people that was listening. But he said, if it ain't like that. If somebody that took it that way, now I know you saying they shouldn't, they couldn't, they wouldn't, but we at a different level of play, man. You know what I'm saying? We doing real business, big boy style. And what we saying to our people that we doing business, if it's some of our friends that felt it was that way, then, you know what I'm saying, we gonna clear that shit up.
Hey, Bill, I appreciate you answering that question, because look, and I'm gonna say this much, and I'm gonna tell you why. Like I said, I get it. Like I say, it's big. I get it. You talking about some big zeros on the line, so I get it.
No, but, not just money. It's not about money. Because when I was just talking to this youngster, it wasn't about no money. It was about some motherfuckers not having some understanding that we telling these niggas, whoever might be listening, it ain't like that. You know what I mean? And then a nigga gonna try to tell us about our business and that, well, you know, you should do this. Nigga, wait a minute. Last I checked, your car outside, you know what I'm saying, is owned by a white company. The mortgage that's on your house is owned by some white people. Nigga, what is you talking about? If y'all don't leave me alone with that shit, I'm a real nigga. I'm right there in East Oakland, man. I ain't trying to hear none of that shit. If I went back to my neighborhood and tell them I got played out by sitting up here talking to one of you motherfuckers about any of this shit, my credibility and my son's credit ain't up for it. Now, guess what? If black people want to cross each other, you know what I'm saying? And I think that I caught more flack, or he caught more flack with his own than anybody else. You know what I mean?
No, I get it, Bill. I wasn't mad at you. I just wanted to get some clarity, and that was a trick question. That was a trick question too about the money thing, because I want to say something. I want to bring something to your attention. You probably didn't know about this shit, because at the end, I just wanted to point out the double standard. The reason why I was like, okay, well, Devin Haney didn't really owe nobody apology, because Tyson Fury on the video, you know, rapping.
I didn't owe the nigga apology. I didn't owe the nigga apology. Yeah. Right? I'm talking about the nigga I was just talking to. I didn't owe this nigga no apology, right? I didn't owe him nothing. You know what I'm saying? But I respected the nigga enough to tell him, homie, it ain't like that, homie. You know what I'm saying? And I'm strong. It's a motherfucker. The man was with his kids. You know what I mean? So that whole thing of us against us because of whatever, you know what I'm saying, brother? Nobody knows everybody's circumstances. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And obviously, from you coming to have dinner with me, you've been in my house. You know that it ain't like that. You feel me? And it could be with a family member. It could be somebody else that don't feel like, I'm talking about in my family, black, to say, nah, you smart enough that you don't need to make reference to it being a particular color without making a reference to you being bad and you were black, brown, you know what I'm saying, whatever, you know what I'm saying, all different people. So to just say it was one, it was taken out of context. But at the level that we are, I think that being very conscientious of what we say and it not being taken out of context is a responsibility that's put on us and not on y'all. That it didn't fall on the person that's asked, it fall on the person that's saying the shit. Because when you're saying this shit, you got to be able to stand on it and it be what it's gonna be. By my son being 21, you know what I'm saying, and he didn't snitch on no motherfucker. He ain't do none of that kind of shit. He ain't cost you motherfuckers no money. You know what I'm saying? He ain't did nothing. None of that. He stood up. He stood up for what was right and what was real. And I 100% back him and I support him on that. Now, I bet when a motherfucker say something to one of them niggas ain't gonna go say nothing to them gangbangers. You know what I mean? Nigga ain't gonna go say nothing to the motherfuckers in Chicago and tell them, man, put them guns down and stop killing each other. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I would.
Well, that's what we need. That's what
I
we need
would.
to do, and not tell them to get in their business, but just tell them how important they are to their families and to the community that they stop, man. You see what I'm saying?
That's funny you mentioned that, Bill. I got a lot of brothers that's been reaching out to me because, when I don't talk about the sports shit, that's what I do. I talk about like trying to tame the community and try to end, the senseless violence. I don't like to use that term black on black crime because let's face the fact, Bill, we already know ain't no black people killing each other because they black. And I think we need to stop using those terminologies. There's no such thing. Oh man, he black. I'm finna no,
No, but it'd be real though.
you know.
No, it'd be black on black though.
I know it's black. Yeah, it's
It's not
another black
no.
man, but I'm saying they not killing
Right.
each other because they black. It's over other shit, the territory, the other street, the dope, the other shit. It ain't because they killing them because they black. It's other shit,
Man, come on, man. That when we as a community,
and I hate it.
no, but we as a community give more value. We give more value to the black lives. Then it will be, um, it will be, it will have more of a light than how many blacks do you know go out and kill whites?
Well, basically none.
Okay. So you gotta say it's black on black, bro. Don't take the black off on black off of it, because then you take away that sting that it is. That when we saying it, when the OGs are saying it, when people are saying it, we wanted to have that fire. Stop the black on black killing. It's black on black. No, yeah, they might have brought the guns to the neighborhood. Somebody else might have brought them. You know what I mean? But
You know why, Bill? I tried to get out of saying black on black. I just want you to hear me out because at the same time, because now when we talk about the struggle, when we talk about police brutality, we talk about the other stuff that's going on, the stuff with George Floyd, Breonna Taylor. The first thing that come out their mouth to try to like suppress it or try to throw a monkey wrench, just say, oh, but what about black on black crime? So they try to throw that in our face.
I don't think anybody that's not black should be mentioned should say black on black crime. You know what I'm saying? But I think we as a people that we got to come together and do better. You know what I'm saying? Just as a whole, everybody. And it just doesn't fall in just one person's responsibility. I think just as a whole, we all got to and come together and do better. And I think conversations like this are healthy.
Yeah, because I'm always willing to I'm always sticking my neck out, Bill, when I'm not like doing this shit, I'll feed the homeless people, Bill, I'm a Jordan collector. I give my kicks. I wear them like maybe one time. I give them to the kids in the neighborhood who wears the same size as me, the young brothers. Because, at the end of the day, some people just don't have $100, $200 to be forking out for shoes. So, I'm giving back to the community.
I'm big on education.
And that too.
I used to call it game. You know what I'm saying? Until I knew a game is education, because then I learned that the people that's getting the real educations from the bigger institutions got all the fucking game in the world. You know what I'm saying? And we coming from the town, we thought it had to be game. You got game, and that meant you didn't go to school. That means that you was like, you weren't traditional. You know what I'm saying? You were very much non-traditional. So education is big, man. Once, and not boxing for us, it really helped our family. You know what I'm saying? We got closer with it. Those that were able to facilitate different roles in a boxing company, I was naturally able to kind of talk to people because I'm more of a people person. Dev is a fighter. His brother likes to do the traveling and getting Devin booked different gigs and stuff like that. Different like the Fat Joe shit. His brother did that. So he's like, we all have a different part in this whole thing as a family, and it's just been good.
All right, you guys. I got to get ready to get back to this hotel room. Plus, this fucking phone about to die. So, Bill, anything you want to say to everybody before we close out, man?
Just stay strong, man. We do it for you guys, man. And blessings on top of blessings until we talk again. Peace.
All right. Hey, appreciate it, Bill. Like I said, man, I got your back, man. You too, Harp.
He over there sleep. All right, brothers.